Gen Z's latest obsession. Coming out as Graysexual. Well, there's a new one. I'm kind of done with this stuff, but I just wanted to cover this article anyway because I've just got a point that I want to make, but I'll save it for the end. What it means and how they're discovering they're grey. Bugger off. They're not gay, they're grey. A surprising number of people are choosing to identify as graysexual, with many now sharing the moment they realised they were grey. Graysexuality exists in what many describe as a grey area between being allosexual, experiencing regular sexual attraction, and asexual, experiencing none. Allosexual is one I've never. You experience regular sexual attraction? Yeah, it's called looking at women. Looking at pretty women. Like you walk down the street and you see a pretty woman and you're like, oh, she's quite nice. Like that's just human nature. That's just what happens. Happens to women too. They see a nice man walking down the street and they go, "Oh, he's very handsome." That's just there isn't a word for that. It's just human nature. It doesn't need a word. That's just attraction. I hate this bullshit. Those who identify as graysexual may feel sexual attraction rarely, inconsistently, or only under specific circumstances. Only under specific circumstances. Yeah, that's everyone. That's everyone. Most of those specific circumstances are you being attracted to the person. Right, this is a description for just normal shit. I don't walk around feeling horny all the fucking time. Right, nobody does. I mean, if you do, you've got a fucking problem. Right, but sometimes, the urge hits you a little bit. Like when my girlfriend bends over into the fridge or something like that, I might go, oh. Right? My girlfriend likes it when I lift things. She likes it when I lift her. That does it for her. All of you that are in relationships right now, there'll be little things that your partner does that make you kind of go, oh. And there'll be little things that you do that make them go, oh. That's called normal. That's called normal. That's just called being a fucking human being. That doesn't need a word. It doesn't need its own little special word so that you can go, I'm actually like, because see saying, I'm actually normal doesn't fucking cut it. You need a little special word so you sound cool and interesting and unique. And I'm going to save it for the end. I don't want to make my point too early. Reddit users also under specific circumstances. For me, a specific circumstance where I won't feel sexual attraction is if she's fat. But anyway, Reddit users are posting in the of course it's Reddit, Graysexuality subreddit, a growing online community of over 8,300 members, about their experiences dating and being intimate, so that they can all talk about normal. They're just normal, right? Sometimes you're horny, sometimes you're not, sometimes you feel sexually attracted, sometimes you don't. And that's just called being normal, but they had to invent a little word for it so that they feel unique and special. Save it for the end. In one post, user at the Archer2121 explained that they had spent much of their life assuming they were just a late bloomer. Crushes came decades apart, rarely lasted long, and they often didn't feel sexual attraction, even to their own boyfriend. Fucking poor guy. Right, but that's just the thing is, that just sounds like you have really specific tastes. Really specific tastes. Like for me, like when I was married, like I didn't feel sexual attraction to anybody else except my wife. Am I graysexual because I was very special and only felt it towards one specific particular person? No, it's called being fucking normal. However, if you don't even feel it towards your own like partner, then fucking find a new partner. Right, you're like, I'm like, regardless of what people say, like, love and your personalities and everything's obviously very, very important, but so is sexual attraction. I'm sorry. Them's the coconuts. In order for couples to actually last, you have to be sexually attracted to each other. As Dan Beeson, a graysexual man from London, told Cosmopolitan UK, graysexual is not just, I don't fancy it tonight. For me, it's being completely devoid of sexual desire in bouts, which can last months, and then one day waking up and realising that instinct has returned. It's because you saw someone you liked. That's what it is. This is just people with really specific tastes. That's all it fucking is. But anyway, I'd been aware my sex drive wasn't as regular as others, but I just put it down to my own relationship with sex. That may still be true, but finding out others were having similar feelings and there was at least a community of some number of us was reassuring, he added. Oh my god. Others online chimed in with similar stories. One user says they only ever felt true sexual attraction once in their life, explaining, when I see someone attractive, I don't have that I'd hit that internal feeling. I just want to be near them. You're asexual. You're asexual, and it happens with some. Sometimes people don't crave physical contact. That is a thing, and it's classed as a mental condition. The reason it's considered a mental condition is it goes directly against nature. Yeah, basically, you're supposed to be pre-programmed to want to fuck and put babies in things. That's what you're supposed to do. That's our nature. So basically, I would class it as a mental illness because it goes directly against nature. Basically, there's a lot of bug in your firmware. That's what it is, right? Sorry, but them's the facts. I was married, so I was asexual for a while. Not because I didn't want to. Just that's what marriage does. Anyway, am I right, fellas? But another recalled being pressured to experiment with sex in college, confused about why their peers seemed to experience desire so intensely and frequently. Ended up getting married, not a good life choice, and things didn't go well in the sexual department. What did I just say? But yeah. Never get married. It'll keep them keen. See when they know you can walk away and face zero repercussions, or they fucking act right. But anyway, I was constantly ridiculed and pressured into doing things that I didn't want to do. Say fucking no then. Just say no. You're out here bowing to peer pressure. I grew out of that shit after I was 12. Just turn around and say, no, I do whatever the fuck I want. You're cringe. No, I'm not fucking doing that. Like, man, you do it, you fucking gay boy. Shut the fuck up. I'm not doing that. Yeah. Don't bow into... I'm sorry, but you don't get to say you have to bow into peer pressure after the age of 12. Right? See if you're with a group of people that are trying to peer pressure into doing stuff that you do not want to fucking do, then they're not your friends. They're not your friends, and just walk away. You'll save yourself so much pain and headache from hanging about with a bunch of arseholes. But anyway, that mismatch in sexual expectations eventually led the person to discover graysexuality through online communities. I'm sorry, but before you get married, you should have the sex shit lined up. You should have the sex shit. Basically, are we on the same page? Are we sexually? Are we totally on the same page? Have that shit lined up, because that's what you're supposed to do before you marry someone. You both make sure you're on the same page. Right, that's what you're meant to do. Sometimes they're pretending, right? But it's fine. Fine, sucks to suck. Right, but anyway. But still, you're supposed to make sure that you're all on the same page about anything before you do something as major as putting a ring on the finger. One person wrote that their attraction would turn on only every few months, making them flip-flop between identifying as allosexual and asexual until they found graysexuality and a sense of peace. Oh, there's a nice new term that not everybody has, because if you notice that some people like to jump, basically, there's a nice little term that not a lot of people are in. But then all of a sudden, oh, everyone, that's cool, that's a nice, unique one, that makes me feel unique and special. And everyone goes, this is annoying. It used to be like just me, and there was very few of us. Now everybody is bumsexual or whatever the fuck they want to call it. And then a new term comes out, and everybody jumps onto that one because it's new and unique, and there's not many yet. And then that term will get really popular. And then a new one will come out and everything. There's a pattern forming, if you can probably tell. Right? I will save it for the end. Right. Interest in graysexuality is growing rapidly, especially with Gen Z, because it's the hip new thing, a fad. Anyway, on platforms like TikTok and YouTube, videos exploring the term are gaining thousands of views. Creators like podcaster Mark at Not Defining have helped bring nuance to the identity, describing it as a bit of sexual attraction, but to a low degree. You have low sex drive. You have low sex drive. If you're a man, eat meat, lift weights, go out in the fucking sun, or at the very least, take vitamin D supplements. That's it. That's literally it. Lift the heavy thing. Lift the heavy thing. Like, see, after I come back to the gym, I fucking bound back home to fucking annihilate the shit out of my 4-foot girlfriend, using her like a fucking fleshlight. That was bad. Well, we're already 10 minutes in. I just need to finish the video now. I'm sorry, babe. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. But I'm just saying, right, lift the heavy thing. Lift the heavy thing. Go outside, get some sun on your skin and all that, and your sex drive comes back. I guarantee you that the vast majority of these people are like couch cushions. Maybe there is a little bit of mental stuff going on there, but they just don't feel sexual desire. Right, maybe there is a little bit of that, but a lot of it comes down to the health of your body. Stress is a huge factor as well. If you're stressed a lot, you just don't really feel in the mood. Right, but still, if you only feel a little bit of sexual attraction, you just need to, if you're a man, you need to go to the gym. Right, you just need to go to the gym, vitamin D in the skin, all that stuff, and just take care of your health. And trust me, the sexual desire comes with that. Right, that's just what you're supposed to do. Women, what are you supposed to do? I don't know, fucking figure it out yourselves. Many assume that graysexual people don't want romantic relationships or are simply repressed. But as psychotherapist Jane fucking leaned on the keyboard there, explains, it can be hard in both queer and wider culture to confidently own a sexuality that acknowledges desire differently. She encourages those exploring the label to reflect on what contexts spark or suppress desire and to trust their own changing boundaries. No one should tell you who you should be or who you are, she says, but everybody, no one should tell you, but they always want a label for it, don't they? They always want a special little label where, like, apparently all of this stuff's supposed to be a spectrum, but they always try and there's like a million different labels for each part of the spectrum. See, when each thing has like a binary fucking digital setting, when you've named each and every single part of the spectrum, then it's not a fucking spectrum anymore. Right, you've named it, you've catalogued it, each thing has its own fucking set name. Right, again, I'll save it for the fucking end. I was at the gym earlier, nearly shot my load early, that's what happened. But anyway, the term graysexual first appeared on the Asexual Visibility and Education Network, AVEN, in 2006, and has since become an important identity for those who never quite fit into the binary of sexual or asexual. Some people who identify as graysexual may also relate to terms like demisexual, sexual attraction only after a strong emotional bond, queer, or pansexual. These are just tastes. But anyway, yeah, there is words for these, but again, so for them. As one Reddit user summed it up, I was so repressed in this regard out of pure confusion, it was such a relief to finally have a word for how I feel. Because I like a little word, I like a little label, because then I get to tell it to people, and then I get to, I'll save it. I'm sorry. The rise of identities like graysexuality comes amid what researchers are calling a sex recession, with younger generations reporting fewer sexual partners and less interest in sex overall. Wonder what that could be. It's because they're sitting in the house scrolling on their phones, not getting vitamin D, not getting healthy. And also, relationships between men and women have kind of been nuked with the new social stigma that's surrounding it, where modern women are horrendous. They're horrible and men don't want to be around them. Basically, men are told they're not allowed standards, and women are told to have the highest fucking standards. Women are told that men should give them every single thing that they fucking want, and men are told that if they ask for a single thing back, like basic fucking respect, then they're a misogynist, and I'm not, you don't control me, and everything like that, and basically, yeah, continue that. That's why you're getting lots of women that are fucking single and lonely now. Where are all the fucking good men? We at the lake, bitch. We fishing. We throwing down beers and hanging out with the bros, and we're having a fucking great old time because we don't have fucking that in our fucking ear, right? You know, a lot of us are quite happy just having a fucking wank. A lot of us are happy just having a fucking wank, man. Peace of mind. You ever done that? Oh, I really need a girlfriend. Go have a wank. Go have a wank, and then you come back and go, what a silly thought. Anyway, I'm going to the lake with the boys. Anyway, but rather than a simple lack of desire, experts like writer Carter Sherman argue it's more nuanced, involving social media pressure, body image issues, and political anxieties. I would say if you have very low sex drive, maybe it is just who you are, maybe you're just a person that's not that interested in sex. I've got a friend who, he likes women, he's attracted to women, he just doesn't pursue them, and I'm sort of like, is it shyness, you know, he worried about rejection and shit like that, you know, blah, 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 and he's just like, nah, just... I'm like, would you fuck a woman if she said yes? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, but I'm not that bothered. So it's just, some people are just like that. Like, that's just a thing. But he doesn't care about labels or anything like that. You all know who it is. Actually, I'm not saying his name. But he just doesn't give a shit. But, now the reason I say this, right, all these genders, all these sexual preferences, all this other type of stuff, right, it's been going on for ages now, and it's starting to fall out of favour now. It's starting to become a fad, because it was a fad, right? And I will say, right now, definitively, 99.9% of people who basically say, oh, I actually identify as insert whatever fucking word here. 99.9% of it is attention seeking, absolute attention seeking. That is what it is. It's people that want to feel special and unique and interesting to people. Oh, I'm actually fucking lamp gender. I'm on this. Wow, what does that mean? What it actually means? Oh my god, people are interested in me. That's what it is. It's attention seeking. That's all it is. And then people are going, oh, it's my identity. It's this, it's that, and everything. It's not. You just want to feel unique and special and weird, right? Why can't you just be like straight or gay? Just be normal. Just be normal. Are you straight or are you gay? That's all anybody gives a fuck about. That's all I give a fuck about. Are you straight or are you gay? I don't care. Just be fucking normal. That's all I ask. Actually, on Tuesdays I like men, and then on Wednesdays I actually like women. I just shut. You're bisexual then. Just fucking call it what it is. No, actually, the term is fucking calendar sexual or fucking whatever. Like, people need their own little unique fucking term so they feel special. And anytime there's some new fucking term that comes out, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Basically, it's like, remember what hipsters were like with music, where it's like, I was actually at their first gig, and I was there when nobody knew this band and everything. That's what people do with these fucking identities now. That's what it is. And then when a new one pops up, everybody jumps over to it. Where it's like, oh my god, there's like this specific term that fucking defines like character traits that hundreds of millions of people all over the world fucking have. But they don't need a term for it. It's just a personality trait. However, you need your little term and you need your little groups because you like feeling special. You like that little nice word that you can tell people. So you feel like a special, unique snowflake and you feel fucking interesting. If you, by the way, this is, and I can prove this for a fact. See if you're ever around someone that is like that. Yeah, they're basically, see how vegans will come up and tell you they're vegan. It's like that, right? But if you ever have someone that comes up and goes, I'm actually demigender. See if you turn around and go, cool, and ignore them, right? You've given them apparently what these people want. We've went, oh cool, you don't care. You're not attacking them. You're not giving them any shit. You're not giving them any of that. You're not being homophobic or whatever. Can you be homophobic to demigender? I don't know what the fuck it is, right? But basically, you're not being bigoted or you're not being any of that to them, right? You're giving them exactly what they wanted. And they'll turn around and try and talk to you about it. And if you go, that's cool, and you're just not really interested, then they get annoyed with you. Then they start saying that you are being bigoted and you're being homophobic and stuff like that. And you're like, what? I didn't give you any reaction at all. I just said, cool, whenever you said that. And they're going, you're actually being very bigoted. And the reason is because you didn't give them attention. That's what they wanted. They didn't want acceptance. They didn't want this or that. They wanted attention, right? They wanted you to go, wow, that's so cool. Tell me all about it. When I don't fucking care. I really don't give a shit. Like, go back to your little fucking weird Reddit groups and talk about it. I genuinely don't care. I am here to play Magic the Gathering and do not have the time to fucking listen to your bullshit. Anyway, I have 100 life, tap, space-time anomaly. Get out. Right? Basically, if you talk about that shit, I will put you out the game of Commander immediately. Right? But it's basically, that's what they want. All of this is attention seeking. Right? Because if you notice that a lot of people are kind of growing out of it now and just like slowly becoming straight or gay or just normal again, because people are realizing it was a fucking fad. People are growing out their teens and early 20s and realizing, that was kind of cringe, all that shit I was doing, and just going with, you know, the classics, the original ones. Were you straight? Were you gay? Were you bisexual? The classics. That's all we needed. That was all we needed. That was all society required. That was all we required. But now we've got 3 million different ones, and everybody wants to feel unique and special in a world where everybody's the fucking same. Right? Because you just can't stand the fact that the guy down the street might be just like you. You don't fucking like that, do you? Well, we're not allowed diversity of thought, but we have to have absolute diversity in what is just basic personality traits. Right? We had 3, just fucking pick one and stop being cringe.